Anthony Hartwig with you for another spring sports preview. I'm joined by the softball coach of the Archbishop Hoban Knights and Kevin Young. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We are so excited to kind of have our first spring season with Hoban, and with that, we needed to kind of introduce us to this program. We know you made the regional finals last year, played a great tri-way team that made it all the way to state. What kind of things did you take away from last year that you're bringing into this year's team?
Well, we actually return quite a bit of players. We have 7 seniors that are coming back. Last year was a special year. I mean, we really weren't expecting to do as well as we did. The kids were real eager to be coached, to be pushed, and we're hoping to continue that same energy and that we did last year. So
When you look at the energy and the things that you guys want to do this year, obviously, like you said, you're returning a lot of players. Do you think there's a lot of hunger from the way last year ended and getting so close to punching a ticket to Akron? Do you think there's a lot of hunger in this program this year?
there's a lot of hunger. There's one little setback though, because of the competitive balance. We were Division II last year, and now we're in Division I. So we have a whole nother different animal facing this year, moving up to Division I. So
Well, the good news for you is you guys put together a really strong schedule. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to meet the roster. I want you to go down some of the players and some of the big names in Hoban
okay.
softball and introduce us to your team and some of the faces that Hoban fans should know this year.
All right. Well, first we'll start right in the circle with Faith Porter. She's back. She had a great year last year, first team all district. Pull up some stats for her. She pitched 159 innings for us last year, had 190 strikeouts. So she's back in the circle. So we're excited about that. Next, we have in center field, Lacey Corals, another first team all district player. Had an excellent year last year. So hoping to pick up right where she kind of left off. She ended up hitting 415 last year, scored 34 runs. What else did she stole 23 bases or something around there. But so yeah, we got 2 first team all districts back, and then we actually have 2 more all district players back, 2 all honorable mention. First one's Kennedy Bray. She's another senior second baseman. She led the team in hitting last year with a 427 average. Drove in 28 runs, scored 27 runs. And then Taylor Gehring, she's a junior. She was a sophomore last year, so she's back, another all-district honorable mention. She plays left field. She had an excellent year, too. She batted .398. Scored 29 runs, 27 RBIs. And then kind of just working our way around, we got Sydney Conti back behind the plate. She had a great junior year last year. I think where is she? She hit 337, hit 5 home runs, drove in 27 runs. And then we've got Nyla Durham back. She's moved from third base over to shortstop this year. We lost Ellie Hardman to graduation, who is a freshman at Youngstown State this year. And then at first base, we have Robin Ryan back. Had an excellent year last year. Actually led our team in hit by pitches. I think she was hit 13 times. But still hit 379, scored 29 runs. And then in right field, we have Mackenzie Wood. She's stepping in. She played, she DP'd for us at the end of the year last year. We lost Lexi Hart, who's playing at Otterbein. this year as a freshman. So she's stepping in right there. So, and then at third base, we have Julia Scaglione. So she's kind of stepping into that starting role with Nyla moving over to shortstop. She's stepping in at third base. So,
When I hear you talk about your roster, I hear a lot of seniors, like you said, 7 of them. What's
yeah.
it mean to a coach to have the blessing of that many leaders on your team and that many girls that you can really lean on to be leaders on the field?
Oh, it can be a blessing. It can be a curse. But no, we have a great group of seniors, and yeah, I can lean on any one of them. It's kind of nice, if there's something I need to tend to at the field or off to the side, I don't have to worry about what they're doing because they know what to do. They know what it takes to win now. So it's really nice having those 7 senior leaders that can and actually and teach the younger girls what it takes to be part of Hoban softball. So
Let's talk about the schedule you put together. I teased it earlier. Obviously, you're an independent school, which means you
yep.
have the freedom to put together a really big schedule that you know is going to prepare you for that Division 1 tournament. What are some teams that you're really excited about going into this season? Excited about testing yourself against, and excited about being able to play?
Well, I mean, we started off our home opener Saturday. We actually dropped a game to Perry, the Federal League. They're tough every year. They have Grace Miller back in the circle, who's going to play at Northwood in Michigan next year. It was a tough game. We were tied going into the 7th inning, 3-3, and they put one up and ended up getting us 4-3. But those are the kind of games that we want to play and prepare us. We're playing Jackson this week. We play Glen Oak. We're playing Hoover. We're playing Fitch. We're playing Triway, Amherst Steel, Brunswick, Canfield, Ursuline, Lake, you name it. we went out and tried to get them all and just get us ready for that tournament. So.
And what I like is you have teams from all around the region. I mean, you're seeing like you're coming down here for Canfield. You're playing Triway, who's in Worcester. You're gathering it from everywhere across the state of Ohio. I like that. I like
Yeah.
being able to do that. Um, let's
Not
talk
to
about this game
mention,
against.
oh, good.
I was going to ask about the game against Perry. Obviously, like you said, it was 4-3. It was the only softball team to play in the YSN family on Saturday. You were able to dodge some weather that we had down here in our Tri-County area.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that game is you guys were down 2-0. You came back, you tied it. Then they come right back and lead 3-2. You tie it again. What was it like to see your team always stay resilient and to be able to fight back from a couple of deficits to keep themselves in the game?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were down last year in a number of games and we never panic, and, I think if we had one more inning, we could have tied or taken the lead, but we play 7 innings for a reason. And, but no, I don't think that we're ever out of any game. They're confident, sometimes too confident. And, so, yeah, I mean, being down, I think we look back because we kind of compared. We actually beat Perry last year, and they jumped on us and took a 3-run lead, and we actually came back. So, yeah, it wasn't anything different than what we've done in the past. So I'm kind of excited just to see how the girls do throughout the rest of the year and the schedule that we put together and just keep battling till tournament time. So
This is our first coach's corner with you, so I want to get to know you a little bit and what your softball background is and how you got into coaching this sport and some of the
mhm.
things you love so much about coaching it at this level.
Yeah, so I actually started coaching. So I had a daughter that played. I don't know if you can see in the background back there. She played at Ohio University, and she's actually on the staff with us this year. She was on our staff last year too. But so that's how I got started. Gosh, I don't know, 16 years ago. And then from just coaching summer league, um, and doing lessons down at Grand Slam. I used to, be side by side with Jerry Goodpasture at Hoover, and we just talked all the time. And he was doing his softball lessons. I was doing some baseball lessons, and at the time, I started to pick up a few kids, softball girls for hitting, and while he was doing pitching lessons, and one thing led to another, and my job. I don't work in the school, but my job allowed me some flexibility, and I joined his staff. About 12 years ago, and I was at Hoover for 10 years, and then my daughter graduated, and I thought, well, it's time to get my own program, and Hoban was gracious enough to give me an opportunity, so that's where I'm at now.
Hoover is a powerhouse in Division One. They won the region last year, went to Firestone. What would it mean if down the line, that kind of matchup kind of took its place and was on a big stage where you got to play against a team that you used to call home?
Well, we do get to play them on April 24th, but yeah, it would be really, really nice to meet them, either in the regionals or in the state. That would be that'd be huge for myself and for Katie, my daughter, who that's her alma mater and who she played for. So, but
That's
yeah,
looking way into the future, and I know
yeah.
coaches don't like to do that too much. Let's talk about some of the goals that this team has set in the narrow kind of thing, and some of the things that you want to see your team accomplish this season.
Um, so we're not one that really like ultimate. We don't like just set a goal. I mean, they know the expectation. They know, ultimately at the end, that's where we want to be. But we haven't set any goals as far as wins and losses, or we haven't really marked any games on the calendar or anything. They just know we want to go out and just compete each game and take each game, as they come. So.
With that being said, do you like players that are able to set maybe like game goals for themselves and say like, hey, this game I want to reach this for myself and I want to set those kind of goals to keep them like always raising that bar per se?
Yeah, I mean, I know. See, with the kids that I'm coaching right now, they're hard on themselves,
Hmm.
So I don't like to put any added pressure. I mean, they've got pressure enough. You're at Hoban, where sports, it's a tradition of winning, and so that they've already got that, and they get it. They get enough of it from me. But yeah, some of them, I know some of them do have some goals. But I'd rather them just keep those to themselves and really put the team first. We really believe in the team aspect. We believe in wanting the best for your teammates and cheering your teammates on. And that's really what we drive and what we push as team first.
We've been talking to a lot of Hoban coaches in the winter, and we talk about the success that the Hoban athletic room has and the tradition it has. And you bring up a good point. That success is great, and it gets a lot of attention, but it also can bring some pressure along with it. How do you navigate that as a coach to not let that kind of seep into the girls' headspace?
Yeah, I mean, like even after Saturday, we kind of talked, and I just tell them, that's one game. That's one game. It's not our ultimate goal. And I told them, Saturday we just got to keep getting better. Each practice, each game, learn from each practice, each game, and just take it game by game. I like I said, they put the pressure on themselves, so I kind of I don't want to add anything to that. So,
How would you describe your in-game coaching style? Are you more of the aggressive kind of coach? Are you more of the conservative kind of coach? Does it depend on the situation? How would you describe kind of yourself as a softball coach as far as in the situationals go?
so I always believe that I'm pretty black and white as far as what the things that we do, as far as situations. I'm not like a kind of guy that's going to go out and just bunt all the time or just swing away all the time. We kind of let the game. I let the game kind of dictate the situation and what we're going to do, and just get a feel for how the game's going. If it's late in the game and we're not moving the ball or something, then we might try to play some small ball. But I mean, ideally, I let the kids get up there and do what they practice doing, and that's swinging the bat. And as far as our defense, I mean, we've got a couple different defensive situations, different bunt coverages, different first and third situations, and we practice all of them. And we're kind of we're prepared for everything, hopefully. So, but I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, but I wouldn't say I'm laid back either. I mean, we've got some speed, and we like to cause a little havoc on the base pass and be aggressive. I mean, I've always told them, I'll never be mad at you for being too aggressive. Now there's a fine line between being aggressive and kind of being, in bad base running. So, but yeah, that's my philosophy.
One of the things I want to do before we get you out of here, I want to make sure you get the chance to talk about all the people behind the scenes that help you make this program what it is. I know you talked about your daughter on your staff as well, but I'm sure there are other people on staff
Mhm.
that bring a lot to this program behind the scenes that help you kind of build it to what it is. So, want to give you the time to give them a shout out and tell us about them and what they bring to Hoban.
Yeah, great. So my, like I said, Katie is a varsity assistant. And then my other varsity assistant is Troy Collins. He brings a wealth of knowledge, from the softball world. He's a travel coach. He coached years with the Wolfpack organization, and now he's with the Outlaw organization. So he does a great job. He's the kind of guy, he's in that dugout, and anytime there's a situation or a breakdown in the defense or a breakdown in our base running or anything, and they come in the dugout, he's right there to go over the situation, and we try to make adjustments right in the game. We don't want to wait until the next day at practice. And then my other coach is Kelsey Murphy. She's our head JV coach. So she's doing a great job with the younger girls, and then I got great support at the school with Matt Bing is our new athletic director this year, kind of took over for Coach T, and then Corey Westover is the assistant athletic director. They've been great as far as support. So.
Coach, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us a solid preview of Hoban softball. Like I said, we're so happy that you're a part of the YSN family. We can't wait to get out and cover your games and talk to you more as the season goes on. Hopefully, we're talking about a lot of Hoban success as the season goes on. And we thank you again for your time, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Great, Anthony. Great talking to you, and glad to be a part of the family this year. So.
All right.